Hello, St. Angelo, and welcome to the Live Daily News Show. I'm James Bouligny.
And I'm Tessa Koskovich.
Tessa's back, everybody.
I'm back. Are you guys so happy to see my face?
How was your trip?
It was great. I had so much fun. I worked.
All right. Sounds like fun. In news today, we have an interview with director Rean LeVell.
Details have been released about yesterday's drive-by.
And for our interview, we have Bob Bluthardt with Fort Concho in studio right after this message from Jim Bass.
It's time to save big at Jim Bass Nissan with rows of new Nissans priced to sell. Like this new 25 Nissan Sentra for only $18,900. A new car for only $18,900? A four-door sedan designed for everyday driving. You better hurry because our lots are full, the savings are real, but these Sentras are going fast. Jim Bass Nissan, Houston Hardin Road, or 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
And welcome back, everybody. James Bouligny here. We have Mr. Bob Bluthardt with Fort Concho.
How are you?
Doing good. How are you doing, man?
It's a busy time at the fort.
It's a busy time for us, too. We're
Cool.
gearing up for Rodeo, but you got some stuff going on out there at the fort?
We do. In fact, since this will play later this afternoon, after you've had your supper, come on out to the fort at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
We have Campfire Story Night. Now, I understand a campfire may not be as attractive today as it would have been on Monday when it was cold, but it's still nice to look at, and we will have campfire stories from 7 to 8 o'clock. And in honor of the nation's 250th birthday, and no, I'm not going to say what it is. It's a Sesquimansukaran or something or other. I can't pronounce it. Who knows? But in honor of the nation's 250th, all of the stories will be related to the Revolutionary War period. And our ace educator, Sarah Team, will also be making s'mores. And
all right.
Messy and tasty and no charge. It's in the Barracks Courtyard on Flipper Street. Flipper runs off of South Oaks, just south of the railroad track. So just come down Flipper, go 2 blocks, and just look for the campfire.
All right.
So that is tonight. And then on Saturday, as part of our spring break programming, we will have what's called Meet the Fort Concho People. We will have many of our interpreters dressed in period garb in the various buildings, hospital, chapel, offices, quarters, barracks, and they will be telling stories and doing interpretation about the fort's history, and be a good opportunity to get the real good tour of the place.
All right.
And that's between, I think, 9 and 3 on Saturday. Now, that's an admission charge, fortunately. Not everything at the fort can be free, but our admissions are modest. They're $3 and $2, so
Okay.
Shouldn't break anybody.
All right. And then you got I guess, kind of a few guests coming to town in early April.
April is going to be a very busy month, and I think if you look at tourism calendars and events calendars in any Texas community, it's always front-loaded with April and October. April because usually, even in West Texas, you're out of the woods in terms of a blue norther or an ice storm, although we've had some in April. And October because summer, blessed, goes away and it's under 90, but you can still have a hot day. So we're doing our part. We have lots going on in April. And in the first week of April, the Budweiser Clydesdales are coming. Now, this is being done by the local beer distributing company. We're just being the host, so we're not actually organizing it. But since we have a nice stables on Flipper Street, and in fact, it's one of the nicer facilities the Clydesdales have, they've told us when they come and visit their places. We will be hosting them from Monday afternoon, April 6th, through the following Monday, April 13, and they will be going on a drive around the fort grounds on the streets surrounding the fort on Wednesday, April 8, I believe, from 4 to 6 p.m. But they'll be in the barn getting washed and groomed. They are incredibly handsome beasts, and I say beasts because they are big.
Bigger than your normal horse.
You look at them like this. They are just handsome beasts, and they are well cared for. In fact, their stables, when they're on the road and when they're in St. Louis and their other home bases, their stable facilities are probably better than most hotels I stay in. They are really pampered, but as they should be. I mean, they're world-famous horses. And I do believe they're going to other locations that the media have covered. I think they're going one day for a Goodfellow-only day. I think they're going on the north side near the Coliseum and some other spots. But if you want to see them easily come out to the fort from 4 to 6. We'll have Avenue D closed and Flipper Street closed briefly, but you can park across the street on the Oak Street side or nearby and just wander onto the parade ground or any place nearby.
All right.
So, and then in April, of course, continuing, we have the speaker series. That's on all the Wednesdays in April from 12 to 1. And again, in keeping with the 250th of our nation, all of the topics will be on the Revolutionary War. And then towards the end of the month, we have our second biggest event of the year on April 25, which is Frontier Day. So that's a free event except for the pancakes. The pancake breakfast is pretty cool, and that's $10 for a great breakfast. I think it's pancakes, sausage, juice, and coffee. And then the rest of the day is free. We have stuff up and down Officers Row, demonstrations, sheep shearing. There'll be the Concho Cowboys will be out. All of our special exhibits will be open, and usually it's a nice, cool morning. At least that's what I'm hoping for, a nice, cool morning. And there is a rain plan, so if the rains come, we will feed you in the stables, and we'll have a shaded place for the Lions Clubs to cook. So lots going on.
All right. Sounds like a good time at the fort.
Always a good time at the fort. There's no point in having a 29-building, 40-acre site if you don't play with it. So
Absolutely.
that's kind of our motto. And if you want to know what's going on day to day, week to week, month to month, and I'm sure I'm leaving a few things out, go on our website at fortconcho.com. Everything's up on the calendar, and there are summaries of what's happening all the way through the end of the year.
All right. Well, Bob, anything else you want to cover?
Just come by and see us. A lot of good stuff going on.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Back to y'all.
We love Bob in this office.
We do love Bob in this office.
We love Bob.
Yeah, campfire stories going on tonight, and the Clydesdales are coming by.
Oh,
it's
so
gonna be
exciting.
Great. First up in the news, we have another interview. This one's with Rean LeVell, the writer and director of Outriding the Devil. This film is debuting in San Angelo during the stock show and rodeo on April 8th at Cinemark Tinseltown, and is about Angela Ganter.
Ganter is a Texas Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame barrel racer who lost her husband, Don Ganter, and also had stage 4 breast cancer. After beating cancer, Ganter returned to rodeo. Let's get into the interview.
And welcome back, everybody. James Bouligny here with a very special guest, Mr. Rean LeVell. He is the writer and director of Outriding the Devil, a docudrama about Angela Ganter. Mr. LeVell, how you doing?
Doing all right. Kind of woke up this morning. My voice sounds like Sam Elliott, but I guess nobody knows what I sound like anyway, so that's all right. If I'm going to sound like somebody, I'll sound like Sam.
You could sound like somebody worse than Sam.
Absolutely, sure. Absolutely.
All right, so let's just talk about the movie here, Outriding the Devil. It is based on Angela Ganter. She is a Texas Pro Rodeo Hall of Famer, barrel racer. She was diagnosed with cancer in 2010, beat it in 2017, then returned to rodeo. And let's just talk about it. What was it about her story that lit a fire under you?
Well, I believe that it's the greatest comeback in the history of rodeo. There's been some good ones, but, Angela's is hard to beat. When you get diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, you undergo the Red Devil chemo, which is what she did. That's why we call the movie Outriding the Devil. I mean, that really road grades a person's nervous system. So after this whole process, she didn't know left from right. She didn't have any balance. She couldn't really ride a horse. So the idea that she would ever come back to rodeo was, kind of like Disney movie stuff. But her daughter, Jackie Ganter, Jackie has won here at the San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo a number of times. So the folks in San Angelo will be familiar with Jackie. While Angela was sick, because she just has this indomitable will, she actually coached Jackie to run the barrels because Jackie had rode English before that. And in 2015, Jackie actually won the WPRA Rookie of the Year at the National Finals Rodeo. So she's a 2-time NFR qualifier. She's very well known. And it was one day, Jackie was like running her horses, and her mom was there, and her mom kind of said to her, I really miss running the barrels. And Jackie had said to her, "You're not trying." And so her mom was like, you see it in the movie, you know, she says, and I said to her, do what? You're saying I'm not trying to beat stage 4 cancer for you. And that kind of lit the fire under her to go out, find a personal trainer. You know, she started to, box to try and relearn left from right and her balance and everything else. And a year later, she was back on the pro rodeo circuit, which is almost unbelievable.
All right. And I was doing some research on it, and that Red Devil chemo is very aggressive and hard on the body.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it'll kill you.
And it can give you heart, like I heard doctors test you and everything before to make sure it's not going to give you heart problems and everything. And
absolutely.
It can develop all of that.
Yeah.
But well, I guess what was it about her that you saw and you wanted to do something for her?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I was driving from Tucson, Arizona to Fort Worth, Texas to meet a buddy of mine, Eric Nelson, who, the folks will know from 1883, Taylor Sheridan's show. He played Ennis in that. And Eric and I were talking about doing another movie. But being a huge rodeo fan, like all my life, I saw that the Texas Rodeo Hall of Fame was in Pecos, Texas. And of course, Pecos is like in 1883, the first pro rodeo was held. So I was like, I got to have an overnight, so I'm going to stay there. Anyway, I was involved in another movie at the time, so I kind of got behind the 8 ball with administrative stuff that day. And so I was like, okay, I can't go to Texas Rodeo Hall of Fame. I'm driving out of town, and I drive right by it, and something made me stop. I went in, beautiful facility. Just the one lady in there, the meter and greeter. She was so proud of everything that they had in there, and rightly so. And it's open. And so I was like saying to myself, okay, I'm kind of struggling with the time, but I can't just like walk in and walk out. I'm going to have to go all the way around it.
Right.
And because it would look rude otherwise. And the last inductee was Angela Ganter. And I read her story, and I read it 2, 3, 4 times. And as soon as I got outside, I made a couple of calls, and I was like, hey, we got to find out whether this lady, somebody has her life rights to her story, because it's just an incredible story. They didn't. I met with her. She was not terribly enthusiastic about doing it at first, because, she's a very private person. But then she realized that if she says it in the movie, if she can help one person who's going through similar things that she went through, she can inspire one person. If she can provide hope to one person, it will all be worth it. So ultimately, that's why she made the movie.
All right.
So that's what really attracted me to it.
All right. You talked about Taylor Sheridan there. You do have a couple of actors who played in Yellowstone and some of his subsequent little spin-offs. Mo Brings Plenty is in it.
Yeah.
Forey J. Smith narrates it. What was it like getting around those two and picking their brain a little bit?
Well, I've worked with Mo before, and I've known Mo probably 20 years. He used to be in a kind of like a Native American New Agey band called Bouligny a long time ago. Great actor. A lot of times people don't have the opportunity to see Mo's full range. So, Mo is one of those guys that if I'm getting involved in a project, he's one of the first people that I want to call. Forey, Forey just is authentic cowboy. He was on the rodeo circuit. He lives that life. He's not acting it. When you see Forey in Yellowstone, that's who Forey is. And that's what this story is about, like the authenticity, because it's not just about Angela's cancer fight. Her family were amongst the first pioneer ranchers on the Brazos. So they were ranching in Comancheria before Fort Phantom Hill was built. And they had a really interesting relationship with the Comanches. So through Angela's heritage and lineage, we're kind of able to give a view of Texas history, what was happening, from like 1850 all the way through 1875, all the way into the 1880s and beyond. And so within that, we see the role of Quanah Parker. A lot of people are unfamiliar with, Quanah's role not just in the cattle industry, but also in rodeo. Because when Quanner, goes into Fort Sill and he quote unquote surrenders to Colonel Ronald S. Mackenzie, who was actually at one time stationed down here at Fort Concho in San Angelo, that was really the catalyst, because Mackenzie says to Quanner, the Comanches aren't farmers, you will be vaqueros. And Mackenzie ended up buying Quanner his first cattle. And then subsequently on the reservation, Quanner became really good friends with, Charles Goodnight, Samuel Burke Burnett of the 4-6s, Daniel Wagner. And if Quanner hadn't opened up those KCA lands, those reservation lands, to those guys, to graze their cattle before shipping them off to market, the ranching industry and the cattle industry wouldn't necessarily be what it is today. So it's a huge part of history, and of course that's kind of a part of Angela's story, through her great-grandfather and her grandfather, the Campbell family. So we're able to show all of that. It's kind of like this big sweeping canvas of a movie. It's not just like, you're going to go into the theater on April 8th when we show it during the San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo, and it's just going to be Angela's cancer fight. That's one part of it, because we're also able to show the evolution of rodeo, how rodeo came about. And of course, the movie has all the superstars of rodeo.
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah.
You talked about authenticity there. You got the Wright family in there, pretty much the whole, I don't know, probably half the Wright family. They probably have a dozen other family members.
Well, we got Stetson Wright. I love Stetson. I believe that, Stetson's going to go on to become the greatest of all time, with all due respect to everybody, and Trevor Brazil and, all of these legends. Rusty Wright is in there. Rusty's currently #1 Salbrunk rider in the world. Statler's in there. Ryder's in there. And of course the younger sister, Lily Wright, plays Angela when Angela was young in one of the dramatizations in the movie. So yeah, all the Wright family are in there. Cherie, their mom, is in there. I think Cody's in there, their dad, a little bit. Shad Money Mayfield, everybody knows who Shad is. Huge personality. He was 2024 all-around world champion. Zeke Thurston, Haven Medjid, Derek Begay, Fallon Taylor, Leslie Small-Ago, who was Rodeo Houston champion a couple of years ago. There's just a lot of great rodeo athletes in the movie. It's kind of like a who's who of rodeo.
All right. That's #1 on IMDb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was
#1.
I mean, man, it was a little bit of a surprise, because big studios don't make movies like this, and so that's one of the other things that we're kind of proud about with this movie, that the executive producers are all from the Western community, ranchers. True family, Darrell Martin from 4M Equine Ranch over at Decatur, and Susan Mitchell, who's a widowed farmer in Pennsylvania. These folks came together because they believed in the story and they wanted to see the movie made. And there was a certain urgency to get the movie made. So otherwise it could have been in production for years and years and years. And, when you watch the movie, when the folks come out and watch the movie on April 8th at the Cinemax at Tinseltown, USA, here in San Angelo, they're going to see the pacing of the movie is like being at the rodeo, because it moves along kind of quickly, and it keeps up that energy and excitement.
All right. And you wrote and directed it, and you've talked about it. Did Sheridan have any notes? Did you ever let him look at the script and notes on it?
No. I mean, Taylor is probably the busiest person in the world, I would say, in this business. I have huge admiration for Taylor Sheridan.
Fantastic writer.
He's an unbelievable writer, and I know on one level how difficult it is to get something made, how difficult it is to write something, how difficult it is to put it together, and be able to direct it. But if you look at Taylor's portfolio, he just has so many shows going on at the same time. So I don't think it's an exaggeration to say the man is a genius and fully authentic. as well.
No, I'm kind of introduced to him by Sicario.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote that one, and then I was like, all right, let's watch it. And then he did Hell or High Water and Wind River, and he actually directed Wind River too. I'm like, wow, these are phenomenal movies. Just
Yeah.
great pieces of film.
Yeah, I mean, look, my own personal opinion is that, the greatest Western series ever made is Lonesome Dove. The closest thing we have gotten to Lonesome Dove is Taylor's 1883, because it's epic.
Right. Well, all right, so April 8th, 7 p.m. at Cinemark, Tinseltown, right down the road on Sherwood Way. If you will catch Outriding the Devil, did you want to say anything before we...
Well, since I've been here in San Angelo, and it's probably 30 years since I've been in San Angelo, and it's just been awesome to be back here. Everybody is, so kind and so welcoming, and I've lived in Wyoming for over 30 years, so it's kind of like being at home. People have said to me, "Do we need a ticket to the rodeo to come to the movie?" You don't need a ticket to the rodeo to come to the movie. It's an official event of the San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo, which I'm very proud of because this is an iconic rodeo. But there's an Eventbrite link that people can go to buy tickets. And as I always say to people, if you have trouble with the technology, just show up. Just show up. Come out on the 8th. We made it for the community, and so come out. Let's watch the movie, and we'll do a Q&A after the movie. Please don't let the technology hold you back.
All right. Well, Mr. LeVell, we appreciate you coming on today.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you guys' time.
Absolutely. Thank you. Now into some other news. Details have revealed that a verbal altercation took place at HEB located at 3301 Sherwood Way, and Matthew Gutierrez and Cameron Anderson, along with a 15-year-old juvenile, planned the drive-by that took place on the 3100 block of Webster Street. After the drive-by, police located them, and then they led police on a pursuit.
During the chase, they threw firearms out of the vehicle but were eventually taken into custody. Anderson is being held on a $270,000 bond, and Gutierrez is being held on a $250,000 bond, while the juvenile was taken to JJC. San Angelo Police Chief Travis Griffith said in his press conference yesterday that it was possibly gang-related, and in an interview, Gutierrez referenced the Southside Gang.
And this morning on the 1200 block of 19th Street, a 2011 Chevy Malibu driven by a 62-year-old man left the roadway. When officers arrived, they attempted life-saving measures on the man, who did not have a pulse and was unresponsive.
The man was transported to Shannon Medical Center but did pass away because of his injuries. At this time, SAPD is telling us that it was a medical issue and no other vehicles were involved in the crash.
And we'll get into weather after this message from Jay Chandler.
It's hard to believe how reckless some people can be and how hard they fight against real victims. You need a partner who consistently beats the giants and who will never, ever flinch.
Into the weather, it's going to be hot this weekend. Thanks, Tessa, you brought it down with you.
It was 20 degrees where I was. I
Doesn't
did
matter.
not bring the hot with me.
But it doesn't look like that weather will break 100 degrees right now. It's really nice outside, 88 degrees, and the low tonight drops down to about 55.
Tomorrow, the high gets up to 95, and it'll be sunny, and there shouldn't be a lot of clouds out tomorrow. So wear your sunscreen. Wear your sunscreen.
Sunscreen.
Don't forget your neck, too. Tomorrow night, the low is around 59 degrees.
On Saturday and Sunday, it'll be hot out with matching highs up at around 98 degrees, and the lows will be in the mid-50s to low 60s.
The winds look to remain calm through the end of the week, but on Sunday, we could get some wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour.
And we'll be right back after this word from Concho's Diamonds and Coins.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Concho's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Concho's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Concho stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Concho's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Thank you for watching the Live Daily News Show.
The only locally owned news show in the Concho Valley.
Follow us on Facebook, X, and other social media platforms.
And while you're watching us on whatever device you're on, be sure to download the